Welcome to this episode of Running Back by Committee here on Fantasy Focus, brought to you by the original Hooters. I'm Derek Tate alongside Matt Bucks and Ryan Levy as we break down the backfield for the Atlanta Falcons heading into the 2020 NFL season. Now, it looks a lot different than it did last season because Devonta Freeman, last year's leading rusher for the Falcons, is a free agent. They decided to let him walk, and they brought in Todd Gurley after he was released from the Los Angeles Rams. And guys, it's very interesting when it comes to Todd Gurley because he was still a top 15 PPR back last year with the Los Angeles Rams, despite them having a ton of offensive line issues. The Falcons are one of the more loaded offensive teams as far as talent goes in the National Football League. They've got Matt Ryan under center, Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley on the outside, et cetera, et cetera. So we got Todd Gurley, though, who's dealing with an arthritic knee, but is only going to be 26 years old this upcoming season. Ito Smith, guys, got put on injured reserve after a nasty neck injury and a concussion that he suffered against the Los Angeles Rams last season. Kadri Allison actually led the team in rushing touchdowns with 4. So with Todd Gurley, and Buck, I'll throw it to you first. Where do we rank Todd Gurley? Is he still someone that we think is a threat to be a top 5, top 10 running back, or is he someone that everybody is scared to hell of because of that arthritic knee?
Everybody's scared. A lot of uncertainty. I have him right now at my number 17 back. I'm very concerned. And, if I'm the one who's ignorant to the brilliance that is a healthy Todd Gurley, so be it. But I'm going to keep myself away from him. There's just something about that knee that ain't right. And sure, he can go out there and perform, but who knows the pain that he's in. It's not like the Falcons are just this explosive rushing attack offense. Where he gets his value is in the red zone and scoring touchdowns. I don't think he'll have a problem doing that. However, the injury concern is my biggest concern. And so in terms of where I'm drafting players, he drops off. That's not a reflection of the player I think Todd Gurley is and where he fits in this Falcons scheme. I think he has a chance if he stayed healthy, 16 games, and they had the entirety of their offense at their disposal for those 16 games. Todd Gurley, we're talking about a top 5 back because he's going to have that many opportunities. There's too much uncertainty, and I'm hesitant to pounce on him. I think 17 might be looked at as low, but I'm that much risk averse when it comes to this knee.
Levy.
Yeah, I mean, as ineffective as he felt last year, he still finished as the number 14 PPR back, and he's currently being drafted towards the end of the 3rd round. So I think that's good value. What Buckey said there strikes a chord with me. He makes his paycheck in the red zone, and I do believe that there's going to be plenty of scoring opportunities on this team. I don't know how much better Todd Gurley is than Devonta Freeman at this point of his career, so I don't know that I'm all that excited about it if you want to compare, concussions and injuries to Gurley's knee and all that. But
you think Devonta Freeman's the same talent level as Todd Gurley at his peak?
At this, Todd Gurley is not in his peak. I'm saying current Todd Gurley.
Yeah, but current Todd Gurley to current Devonta Freeman?
Current Freeman had 6 or 7 games out of the first 10 where he averaged 2 yards a carry. I mean, and he's still
Todd.
On volume alone last year, he finished as the PPR running back 20, and he missed a couple games. So I'm saying people, I think, are sleeping on Gurley a little bit. Even if Gurley's not going to be the 2017 Gurley that we fell in love with because of that arthritic knee, there are concerns, and it's legit. But this is an offense that will put up points regardless of whatever Todd Gurley's efficiency is. And I think Gurley's just going to stumble his way to 7 to 8 touchdowns minimum with probably an upside of around 12 to 15.
Yeah. I'm not saying, I'm just saying if Freeman was healthy and you put him into this offense, I do believe they're going to score a lot of points. That he could very well score the 12 touchdowns that Gurley's likely going to score this year is what I'm saying. But I agree. There's probably even more upside. I don't know that Gurley rushes for 1,000 yards, but he could get 15 touchdowns in this offense.
He could definitely get 15 touchdowns, and Freeman saw in 14 games 184 carries. And I don't know about Gurley's pass catching involvement. I mean, Ito Smith, I mean, we have to find out how healthy he's going to be. I mean, he had a really rough end to his year last year, man. It concerns me because, Bucky, I know you like Ito Smith.
I do.
I think he's a hell of a player, man.
Product. I loved what he did at Southern Miss, so I'm just still hankering for that.
Do you think that if there is a back, if Gurley is not going to see the volume that we're accustomed to, and he's not a true 3-down guy, in your opinion, Levy, then who's the one that gets work in either the passing game or as a change of pace back?
I don't believe in any of these guys behind Gurley. So for that reason, I'm certainly willing to take him at his ADP. I think opportunity alone, especially either format for that matter, because I think in standard formats, he's still going to score a lot of touchdowns. And I don't think that Ito Smith or Allison or Hill, for that matter, are going to take touches away from him. So I like the opportunity for sure. And if you're telling me if I can get him at the end of the third round, early fourth, even in some cases, that's my running back 3. I love Gurley in that spot.
Where he is, I love him. So
right.
where, I said I had him at 17. That's perfect slot back to the third round.
Rick, you even say risk averse, but even if that's a conservative ranking for him.
Very much so.
And where his ADP is, Levy, I think it's a home run for a guy that I think doesn't really have a ton of competition for touches in Atlanta in what should be a productive offense.
What about QO?
Kadri Allison?
Yeah, my guy.
Dude, he's a bulldozer. I mean, one thing that I thought last year was he did a good job inside the 5. I mean, he scored 4 rushing touchdowns on his limited work. But if you have a guy like Gurley, who is money inside the 5-yard line, I don't see Collison really carving out much of a role. If anything, a healthy Ito Smith probably gets him off the football field in passing down situations.
Agreed.
Not all passing down situations, but is a nice spell. So that's where we are on Todd Gurley and Levy. Is there anybody you wanted to bring up?
No, I just want to say I don't really think the line got all that much better, and this unit ranked towards the bottom of the league last year. So I'm just not thrilled about it in general. But where he's going, I think that's great value. I just hope he doesn't creep up draft boards too much. But as your running back 3 in some circumstances, at least running back 2, I think running back 2.
Do you think that some of that rushing inefficiency had to do with Devonta Freeman? Because I watched Devonta Freeman last year, and I had some draft capital invested in him, but he didn't look like the same guy, man. He didn't look like he had that short area burst, that elusiveness in between the tackles that kind of made him special and the exception to the rule for a smaller back being the lead dog in a committee. I didn't see that from Freeman, man. I think that 2015 season is well in the rearview mirror. That's probably why he doesn't have a job right now. He turned down the Seahawks. I mean, I know that we're talking about.
Would you want to go to the Seahawks, to be honest?
I would want a paycheck.
He's going to get a paycheck. We just can't do medical clearances right now. Just relax a bit here. Devonta Freeman will have a home. But the Seattle thing, it's just that, it's a merry-go-round of backs up there.
The Seattle thing is concerning for me. I know we're not talking about Seattle right now because I want to know what's going on with Rashad Penny when you got to go sign Carlos Hyde.
Right. Yeah, that makes me a little bit uneasy with Penny, and it's unfortunate Penny got hurt, but we're talking about the Falcons. Sound off in the comments. Where do you have Todd Gurley on your rankings heading into the 2020 NFL season? Again, if this is your first time coming across our channel, hit that subscribe button as we break down every single backfield heading into the 2020 NFL season here on the Running Back by Committee series, brought to you by the Original Hooters. Until next time. Later, says the Tater. Take a look at that highlighter.
Nice point.
See ya.